coronary sinus, then left is left and right is right. Okay? And if you don't see the coronary sinus, then left is right and right is left. Okay? Okay. So what side is this?
The right.
Good. Yeah. This would be the right side. This would be the left side. Anyone know what this kind of point is called? Apex. Yeah. Good.
What?
So
Apex?
Apex. A-P-E-X. I'm dyslexic, so that was really difficult. I got it right, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if you see like the left side is a lot bigger, I'll explain why that makes sense in a second. But just so you know, like the left side is really big, the right side's kind of small. Anyone know what this is called? This actually, this is the left auricle, actually. Left auricle, and then the right auricle is over here. Okay? So right auricle is on the back, left auricle is on the front. Anyone know what this thing is?
I'm all looking.
That's the pulmonary trunk.
Yeah.
So when you guys look at your fetal pigs, the like big white thing coming out of it, that's kind of like the most notable thing that you can see. That's the pulmonary trunk, and it kind of like crosses over. Okay, so the back here is like really confusing. We have a lot of holes, but we'll go through them. I'm trying to think of what else I need to tell you about the outside. Okay, right. So on your pigs, you have it. It's been taken off on this one. But coming along right down here, you have an artery and a vein. Anyone know the names? So it's
one of them, the great cardiac vein.
yeah, it's the left coronary artery and the great cardiac vein. So if we put a pin on those in your heart, in the fetal heart, then you would have to say that. We can't do that here because they're not there. Okay, so we're going to trace some blood. Back here, we have the entrance from the cranial vena cava. Okay, so this is, the heart is facing as if like it's animals on its stomach, right? Head's over here, tail's down here, right? Because this is the back. So the cranial vena cava is draining blood from like the head and the upper body, right? So upper circulatory system. So imagine like all of the stuff up here, those veins are draining and they're going right in here. So the caudal vena cava, which is coming like from the organs and the lower half, whatever, it comes up this way and it perches from the back, kind of on the left side, and then dumps in here. So this is the entrance from the caudal vena cava, and it kind of like travels along the coronary sinus in order to get together. So cranial vena cava, caudal vena cava, they come together, and my fingers are now touching.
They are touching it though.
No, I just need a long finger.
Okay, they do.
Okay, there we go. So those spaces are connected. So what happens is those two veins kind of dump into the same hole, right? So if I keep my finger in where the cranial vena cava is coming from, and then open this, then boom. So my finger is now in the right atrium, or right atrium, good, yes. So it's now in the right atrium. So this valve would be the bicuspid or the tricuspid?
Tricuspid.
Good. Tri because it's RI, so it makes you think of right. Ah, yes. Okay, so my finger's through the cranial vena cava. It's now in the right atrium. So this tricuspid valve, I'll show it a couple times because it might be hard for you to see. How a tricuspid valve works is there's three cusps, right? And a cusp is kind of a flap, and then there's cordoni tendineae that are like strings holding it. So the flaps kind of overlap each other, and then when the valve needs to open, then those cordoni tendineae pull the cusp back, and then the blood can flow through, which kind of happens through just like physics and like fluid dynamic stuff that you do not need to know about, but one day you should learn because it's really cool. All right, so if I open up this is a great example of a cusp right here.
That's okay.
Oh, that's
So
okay, that's
that
right.
flasp is flap is a cusp, and then these things. It's actually easier against my white glove. Those are the cordoni tendineae. Okay.
Are there three in the tricuspid or not even? It's just a name.
No, there's three. So this is one. There's another one kind of up here, and then the third cusp has been like cut, so you can't really tell. But I mean, this is a great example of a cusp. Okay, good. So we went right atrium, tricuspid valve. We're now in the right ventricle. Good. Which is this huge arteries right here. Okay. See that? So when the right ventricle pumps, then it goes up through something called the semilunar valve, which is actually really hard to show on here, but I'll show you the semilunar valve on the other side. So let's just imagine that happens. So right ventricle pumps, blood goes up through the semilunar valve into the pulmonary trunk, right? And then over here, we have two pulmonary arteries. So this is pulmonary artery number 1, pulmonary artery number 2. Okay? So it goes pulmonary trunk until they split off into the pulmonary artery. So if I put a pin here, you'd say pulmonary artery. But if I put a pin here, you'd say pulmonary trunk. Does that make sense? Oh, shit. I forgot to show them something on the last table. Damn it. Okay. I'll have to go back.
You don't care about that.
Okay, so in the fetus, what's the other option? Instead of pulmonary trunk into pulmonary arteries, there's something else that it can do.
It goes across to that.
Ductus arteriosus. So would we see a ductus arteriosus here? No, we would see the ligamentum arteriosus. Right, exactly. So ligamentum arteriosus is this thing. Pretty crazy, right? So I mean, if you squeeze this, you can feel that like there's no space in there. Like it's literally just like a ligament. But this is a ligamentum arteriosus. If we asked you to identify that, we would like put something underneath it, make it clear what we're pointing to.
Does that connect to the aorta?
Yeah, exactly. So
That's where it would have been.
this is the arch of the aorta right here. Okay, so let's continue with our trace. But yeah, this is ligamentum arteriosus. So pulmonary arteries, and then these go to the lungs. Good. Then there's like a whole bunch of stuff that you'll learn and that you'll need to recognize for trace questions. But basically, it gets oxygenated, and then it comes back.
Is one right, one left, or do they both go to both?
Yeah, one of these is left and one of these is right, but we don't ask you to know that.
So they split up. One goes to each lung.
Yeah, I would assume that's left and not right.
Yeah, I would assume it was left. Yes. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that was the answer. So it goes to the heart, gets oxygenated, blah, blah, blah. It's coming back through pulmonary veins, right? So all pulmonary veins come together into one big pulmonary vein, and then they dump into the heart right here. So if you're looking at the back side of the heart, the pulmonary vein entrance is the leftmost hole, okay? I say that because sometimes people look at this back and they're like, holy crap, there's so many holes. The leftmost one is the pulmonary vein, okay?
It's big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really big.
Always the animal side.
Right, so I'll put my finger in the pulmonary vein, and it should now be, my tip of my finger is now in the
Left atrium.
left atrium. Yes, exactly. Open this up. Okay, everyone can see? Not really. There we go. Left atrium, right there. So then left atrium, then there would be the bicuspid valve, and then this is the left ventricle. So something to note, and then actually, here, I'll point to this. This right there, the thing below my pointer, that's the semilunar valve. I'll turn it around so you guys can see. Does everyone see that? Is it on the right thing?
Oh,
it's
is that?
not.
No, I don't see it.
A little.
Yeah.
Oh,
the whole-
it goes up the middle, kind of?
Yeah, it's like right down.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Got
Okay.
it?
You see it
So
now?
I'll show you this. This is a semilunar valve.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what's confusing to some people is they're like, wait, so is this the atrium or is this the atrium? This is the atrium. Because you have the cusp right here, right? So this would be atrium, this is ventricle, and this is continuation of the ventricle up into the semilunar valve. So after it goes up into the semilunar valve, then it comes out through these two guys, right? So
Are there two semilunar valves?
yeah, there's these are all called different things in the human, but for now, like the one that's coming from the right ventricle and the one's coming from the left ventricle, they're both called semilunar valve. Okay, so what is this guy? Arch of the aorta. Good. And then this would be the descending aorta. Once the arch is done, it's descending. So what is this then? It's coming off of the arch of the aorta, and it's really big. Brachiocephalic trunk. Okay. Yeah,
What?
exactly.
The what?
Wow.
This is the brachiocephalic trunk.
Oh.
So what's interesting is that this little hole right here, this is the entrance to the left subclavian. So a lot of people get confused because they think that the artery system is the same in the left and the right. Not true. The left subclavian comes off of the arch of the aorta, so that's everything that's serving your left arm and also like some of your left back, right? Brachiocephalic trunk, this guy is going to split into right subclavian, so your right arm, as well as the left common carotid and the right common carotid. So the reason it's so big is because all of this blood is also going to the brain, right? So it makes sense that it's like absolutely massive. So this is brachiocephalic trunk, and it's officially coming off of the arch of the aorta, even though it doesn't really look like it. But if you're doing a trace and we ask you to like trace blood to the brain, you would have to say arch of the aorta, brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's something else I wanted to say. Okay, right. When we give it to you on the midterm, it'll be propped open kind of like a peanut. So we'll put a probe in there kind of like this. Yeah, I can turn it. There you go. Everyone see it? So, so now you're looking at it and you're like, crap, which one's left and which one's right? Here's a really good trick. This is a super meaty wall. And this is a really meaty wall, and then this wall is not very meaty, right? The meaty walls are surrounding the left ventricle. This makes sense kind of intuitively because when the right ventricle pumps, it only needs to pump hard enough to get to the lungs. But when the left ventricle pumps, it needs to pump so hard that it can get blood all the way to the big toe. So just by like fluid dynamic stuff, it makes sense that the left ventricle is really huge and really strong. So when you guys see this, see meat, think left. Which is confusing because like right now it's on the right side. And I think that's everything. Any questions?
Why is it diseased or something? Like, why is it black? Or is that just...
This part is so old. I want to say like maybe 7 or 8 years.
so it just changed color over time.